we're going to do our CQI module with ImageTrend Elite. So you're going to go ahead and log into ImageTrend, and of course it's going to ask you to agree to the privacy policy. It's going to show you your welcome announcement, and when you first log in, it's going to be in whatever mode you were last in. So if you were in EMS, it's going to show you the EMS menu. If you were in CQI, it's going to show you the CQI menu, but you can switch back and forth under the incidents menu by clicking under the switch to option. So we're going to switch to CQI. So under CQI reviews, you should see whatever phase you are assigned to reviewing. So if you are an initial reviewer, you'll see initial review. If you're a final review, you'll see final review. If you're a billing review, you'll see billing review. I have the pleasure of seeing all three because I'm currently in the process of just testing all three. So go ahead and take a look at initial review. So when you go into initial review, this is your inbox. By default, it's going to show you a certain date range. If you want, you can clear out that date range. And then anytime you change anything in any of these filters, you have to click Go to apply the filters. And then it's going to show you whatever list of runs currently apply to the filters that you have applied. Now, because all of us can see all of the shifts, if you only want to see your shifts, for example, if you only want to see a shift, you select shift equals A and hit go, and then it will filter and you will only see a shift. When you are ready to QA or CQI your calls, you have two options. You can open in current tab or open in a new tab. So if you want to keep this list, you can open in a new tab, but if you want to just keep working in this window, you can open in the current tab, and you open the run. So you open the run, and you see the reviewer status. So the incident status is crew complete. That means the crew has finished editing the run. It has passed initial requirements for the run to be completed and locked. You'll note down at the bottom the validation is 100 and CQI is 100. That means that all of the requirements for the run to be completed and passed through to the state export have been satisfied. However, you'll note that in this CQI, we have all of these required inputs. Now, not all of these will apply to every single run. That's why all of them have a not applicable option. Just like when we were doing QA in tablet, we do want you to put general feedback on every single run. Now that can just be PCR reviewed. You don't need to add a comment to every single one. That's if you want to send a comment back to the crew. If all you're doing is putting information in this text box, that is where you put it in the text box. So all of these are things to look at in the call. Was the correct protocol followed? If online medical control was obtained, did they document the MD name? Interventions complete, accurate, and do they match the narrative? Was the code summary uploaded and attached? Were narcotics documented and wasted correctly? So on and so forth. All of these are required CQI data points. You'll note the run is attached here. Obviously, that's a very short narrative on this one. When you are in your CQI view, once you enter something and move on to the next one, that box around it, I'm going to guess it is orange. I'm colorblind, so I don't know. Once your CQI requirement is satisfied, that box goes away. So protocol followed, not applicable, narratives matches, no code summary uploaded, narcotics wasted correctly, not applicable, documented correctly, and this, okay. Awesome, thank you for that. Radio traffic dispatch. So this was not a trauma call, so scene time, under 20 minutes. So that's what we're looking for. So we're going to say scene time was under 20 minutes, yes. Let's say the scene time was not under 20 minutes. Then we would say no. we would add a comment, and we would say scene time was 35 minutes. I'm going to say add. So there's our comment. And then if we were going to send it back to the crew, they would see that comment in the CQI process. So let's say this was a cardiac call. Cardiac 12 lead obtained within 5 minutes of patient contact. Yes. If it's not a cardiac call, you just hit NA. Cardiac NA. Cardiac NA. Again, same for strokes. A couple of stroke data points. If it's not a stroke call, we hit NA. Same for trauma. Trauma capable destination, yes. If it's not a stroke call, we hit NA. Or sorry, trauma, we hit NA. Okay, so there's all of our CQI data points. So now what do you do? So once you're done with all of that, what do we need to do? If all of your CQI is done and we are not going to be sending it back to the crew, you would set your reviewer status to completed, and then you would set your incident status to the next CQI status. Now, I can see all of the statuses because I am testing. But if you are an initial reviewer, you would be able to see crew complete and final review. Final review is the next CQI status. That moves it on to Chief Lap's inbox. That would be the next step. Once you select that, it moves it on and you don't see it anymore. If we need to move it back to the crew, we would say needs crew attention. And then when it goes back to the crew, they would say, well, why does it need crew attention? And they would scroll down in their CQI and they would see your comment. And we would say, crew complete, reviewer status needs crew attention. And then we would save and it would send it back to the crew. But since it doesn't need crew attention, we will say completed, and we will move it on to final review. And it's going to want to say, do you want to change the incident status? Click OK to save and review and update the incident. Are you sure you want to proceed? And we'll say OK. And now that has gone to final review, and we can move on to our next one. Now there's no need to go back to the inbox, because with the magic of ImageTrend, we can just go to our next run. Now, you see I click this arrow right here. Now we are on the second of 5 runs in our inbox, and we have moved on to our next run. I hope that this has helped you understand the process of CQI. If you have any questions, feel free to text or call me or shoot me an email.